All right, good afternoon, good afternoon. It is about 4:15 p.m. 4:15 p.m. Tuesday, March 10th. Uh, Hope everybody's doing all right. I'm hanging in there, constantly adjusting to the stimulations as always. I had material that I want people to consider purchasing and trying out. Before I do that, before I talk about the material, I need to go over the psychological operation and the possible manipulation of people who may not necessarily be connected to targeting, but as long as the society have their what they call flying monkeys from the Wizard of Oz, as long as they have them around that can actually influence or give quote unquote information about the targets that's in the area. I feel like I should speak on something, right? Now, once again, V2K is literally the use of technology. I strongly believe it's primarily nanotechnology. Alright, OG? Alright. So, now, as far as it's the use of this technology, and then the projection or the broadcasting of one's own voice or someone else's voice into another person's brain, right? And this is not new technology. This is technology that has been around for decades, but they have miniaturized it so that they only need to use nanoscale devices. And it's all being done via internet cloud access. So it's not necessarily the G internet services that we are currently using. They are definitely using 6G and above. Now, I'm going to say this, right? And I need to say this clearly because obviously the V2K is trying to constantly fearmonger me into believing that me speaking up about targeted individuals and basically the global human trafficking agenda that there is, that is terrifying just about every single person who knows about it from ever speaking up on it. Why? Because simply put, if you speak on it, you will die. If you speak on it, your family or your children or somebody close to you will die. Now, if they don't kill you, then the next thing they'll do is they'll try to destroy you, right? They'll try to destroy you by, destroying your character, your name. They'll try to say that you're a whole bunch of things. Mind you, on top of everything else, if you are experiencing remote neuromodulation and you end up having moments where you're not your absolute self and you do things, and then next thing you know, somebody would basically have this idea to say, oh, well, he moves funny, he moves weird, or she seems so strange, or she's not talking to anyone. You don't know what it feels like to be remote neuromonitored. And then not only do you not know, because you probably haven't, like these people probably are being remote neuromonitored, but they just don't realize it or don't know it yet. But for people who are being targeted, we know. It's like we know it's people doing it, because at one point, if it's not continuously being known, they let you know that they're going to fuck with you for the rest of your life. And no matter what job you get, no matter what relationship you get in, the secret technocratic, tech transhumanists, whatever they want to call themselves, they know. They want you to know. Most of the time, they kind of feel like it's more just an experiment when you don't know. But when you do know, it's more fun and games, because then it's like, oh, now we have permission to really fuck with them because now they know what we're doing. Anyway, like I was saying about the flying monkeys causing mischief and everything, the B2K have been trying to tell me that, oh, there's some people that's basically spreading a rumor about me being crazy, or they're stating that, like, through my own videos, I've been spreading rumors about people, which it doesn't make sense because anytime I make a statement, I always state right before I make the statement, the V2K. I always say exactly where it came from, because if it wasn't from me, then I'm going to say, okay, it was the V2K, or, oh, I'm going to say that, like, if it wasn't the V2K, then I would say who it came from. But more than likely, I don't mention people who, yeah, it's like I don't mention people who isn't necessarily supposed to be in my video. Now, if I describe actions about a person or people, but I don't say their name, I don't see how I could be incriminated for that. Because if I'm not characterizing anyone, no one shouldn't be speaking up on anything because it's not about you, right? It's not about them. It's about targeting. Everything I post is about targeting, unless it's about something else. Hold on. All right. Sorry, I'm back home now. All right. So I forgot where I was before, but oh, right. So it's like the V2K, they have like this whole scenario played out where people have been watching my videos who work at my job, but yet nobody, I'm not going to say nobody, there's only been like a handful of people who've said that they've seen my videos, you know, but they've never really said anything that was like, you know, alarming to me, or said that they were offended or anything, you know. So if anything, they seemed like they were more interested in what I was talking about, because I know that not everyone knows about, you know, targeted individuals or gang stalking, because that's kind of like those two terms are still relatively new, but it's not something that I would say the general public knows about. If anything, the general public knows more about Havana syndrome, but still, that's even a small amount of people. Most people wouldn't know about it because they're too busy. I'd say they're too busy. They're too busy, I guess, really just dealing with everything else, right? And that's the thing that I wonder about. It's you know, there's always these moments or people that kind of reinforce that, hey, man, forget about whatever you're feeling, just press that down, or you know, do some meditation or whatever, and just, you know, just get through that and just do what you got to do, right? But then when you understand this technology and how it works, it's like you don't just press it down, it adjusts to you. And I've learned that even people who are like great at meditation, and those who are you know, athletes who constantly are running and sweating, they're you know, flushing out some of this technology and stuff like that. You know, everyone who masters that 0 point, almost like zen, to be able to do things, they still have moments where I think there's a possibility that
they have already learned thresholds. Like, because this technology has been around for many decades, I've learned. The wireless body area network has been around since 1995. Once most people have basically once most people started getting cell phones, that was the beginning of the wireless body area network, because once that phone was always near your body, now it became the phone, then it will basically became your body, which is electromagnetic, the phone, which basically has technology that can sense and decode electromagnetic information, and then the internet, or the telecommunications, or satellite communications, or the cloud, whatever it is. So it's been around for many years now. I always want to make sure that no matter what, I say what I could recall, the best way that I could say it without seeming too abrasive, because I know, even though V2K, the four of them, they like to say, "Oh, he's so professional," and it's like, no, because it's not professionalism. A professional is someone that has studied something for many years, and they've learned to master the craft of doing something. Like you got agents, and you got martial artists and stuff like that. They are professionals. They studied things for many years, and they practice at it. I have not practiced it, like, much of anything that I have been doing over the last, like, 5 years. So at least that's how long I've been being targeted for, and at least aware of my targeting was 5 years. But it's like, I have moments where I think back to the past, and I'm wondering, like, dag, was that like a form of, like, gang stalking, sabotaging back then? Because how would he know to do that? And then all of a sudden now my manager's calling me, and it's just like, there are those moments, and I'm like, that's crazy. Because remember, I told y'all, they originally wanted me to become a police officer. They wanted to scare me into becoming a police officer. They It was more of like an intimidation thing, because they didn't want me to go to the hospital and tell them about my experience. And then when I did, they was like, "Oh, you snitched on us," and I was like, "Snitch? How you?" I was like, "Wait," because it was like, in my mind, it was like a bubble just burst, and I was like, it was like, because to me, if in my home if I'm in my home, and I'm watching TV, a show just finished, I'm hearing the ending credit music playing, and I'm literally just sitting there, and then all of a sudden I hear a voice that sounds like a familiar voice, talking about, "We gonna shoot you in your sleep," and I'm looking around, but I don't see nobody. I'm like, 2020, I had to be about, I think I was 32 years old. No one just develops schizophrenia after 32 years. No one just develops it after, like, no one, it just doesn't just pops up like that. So now they're like, "Oh, people think you crazy now because in your video you said you got schizophrenia, or the doctor said you got schizophrenia." But I'm like, I already have exposed myself to the technology, the information about it. I can now, I'm not going to say perfectly explain it, but I can almost show people and demonstrate to them through, like, literally using a spectrum analyzer, of when the V2K is speaking. So it's like at this point, it doesn't even really matter because they're like, I mean, obviously they're saying, oh, there's a lot of people that don't want you talking about it, blah, blah, blah. There's people that's going to come take your life and you don't realize that, there's a lot of people that you upsetting and blah. Man, at this point, I'm like, man, we're talking about the entire human race about to be being enslaved in secret by a small group of other entities. May still be human, but I'm not going to say fully human because there has been a lot of talk about transhumanism, and I've heard a term thrown around called what they called it, homo homoborg. I forgot, but anyway, homo borgias or something like that. Anyway, yeah. So, but I don't know. It's like I'm not necessarily trying to scream out I'm a targeted individual like everywhere I go. It's just like I might bring up something, or if you just happen to mention that you're having a specific pain in this area or whatever, it might spark me to slowly introduce you to it. And then sometimes it's in people's body language. It's like I don't know. It's people. I'll say this: people who are experiencing like what I could call it unexplainable pains and let's say emotional discomforts. It's and when I say unexplainable, meaning you can't seem to find the source of why it's happening. And that's what I'm talking about. It's unexplainable because usually when something is happening to you or within your body, you usually can trace it back to what it could be. And then you go to a doctor and the doctor be like, well, I don't know. We could keep running tests. And I'm just like, nah. They've been developing nanotechnology for possibly what, maybe, let me see, we're in 2026, probably what, three decades, maybe even more than that. So I don't know. But hey, you don't gotta just listen to me. All you have to do is you can go in a search, look up intra body, INTRA body, BODY, wireless nanosensor network. Once you look into that information and you see just how small a nanosensor is and just how much energy it can harvest from the body and just how it can actually build itself up into a larger structure within the body so it can conduct even more energy and then receive even more data into the body and then take that information and convert it into electrical impulses to stimulate nerves in the body to cause things to happen or stimulate cells to either cause, you know, good things or bad things to happen. Depends on who has access to your network. And and it's funny because the V2K, they always be like, Chris don't trust nobody. He don't trust nobody. Well, to me, I'm thinking it's not that I don't trust anybody. No, I trust anybody just as much as you should trust just about anybody, right? Until you got to know them more. But at the same time, being exposed to this network of people and how they move so secretly, it's like I don't know how to identify them. So in my mind, it's like, okay, you keep it cordial, but at the same time, be very subtle. Because you got to remember, this whole technology really is based on subtle energy. So when you start to learn about subtleness and learn how to um, really actually try to create like this pause, it's almost like you're not necessarily they call see for me when I guess when I go into like a overboard of it, they call it emotionless energy, where to the point where like I'm just kind of like I'm blocking off from receiving any type of emotion from anyone, but I'm just still very, you know, I guess direct and straight to the point, or logical or whatever. Probably how they expect a lot of people to end up becoming within the next few years. But anyway, um, but the other thing that I do is I just, I don't know, it's like it's like I don't know. I like to think about it as like being Bruce Wayne. I thought about that before. I was like, I like to think about it as being Bruce Wayne. It's like, because everybody knows who Batman is. Batman doesn't necessarily want to harm. Batman doesn't necessarily want to harm or kill anyone, including his what do you call them? Like allies. There's the word. I had to move some energy because they was overstimulating some nerves. But yet, but even Batman knows things about his allies, you know, but he doesn't necessarily want to use it on them. It's just in case, you know. So for me, I'm not necessarily trying to do anything, but it's just I'm just subtle because I don't know if you have access to this technology, and then by me opening up you next to Sarah, all of a sudden I feel this pulse shot to my heart, and the one time I open up and it's like fuck, you know. But yeah, and I mean, of course, right now they're like, "Oh, Chris, you need to stop talking out loud because people listen." I'm like, "Well, obviously, I can't control whether or not they want to listen or not." I would say the safest thing they could do is just say, "Hey, we hear what you're saying in there, and we would just want to let you know that you cool with us." Like that's the best thing that anyone can do with somebody who's being targeted. Is like you see them experience something. If you're not a part of it, just let them know you cool. Like that's it. So then at least that person could not be thinking anything other than whatever. Because at least they can give you a bigger benefit of a doubt. See, I'm already giving everyone a bigger benefit of a doubt anyway. Because I have no intention of doing anything to anyone. I'm specifically talking about technology. In most of my videos, I'm mostly talking about the V2K and the technology. And then it's like the V2K, they try to make it seem like, oh, you snitching on people at your job. And I'm like, what? Because customers tell me about things that other delivery people do. That's what? Oh, they're like, oh, that's snitching. That's snitching. I mean, well, I don't know. Not like I'm saying anybody's name, but I mean, if a customer says, "Oh, this person left my groceries outside," and I'm just like, "Well, shit, that is kind of messed up." But I mean, at the same time, it's like, did you answer your phone? And then somebody will be like, you snitching on yourself now. So it is what it is, because the V2K always going to try to use whatever angle they can get. Anyway, yeah, so I just wanted to finish this video, and then about to eat some food, and hopefully I see y'all another time, and hopefully I wake up tomorrow too. All right, take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.